Struggling with putting ourselves in the occasion of sin is something I believe a lot of teens and young adults struggle with, myself included. And before we can figure out a way to avoid the near occasion of sin, I think we need to figure out what it is inside that we're struggling with the most. Maybe it's drinking, maybe it's impurity in a relationship, whatever it is. When I was in high school, I kind of led a double life. I know that a lot of you guys can relate to that. And I would be one person with my girlfriends on Saturday night and another girl on Sunday at Mass. So one Sunday I was in Mass and I was feeling guilty and shameful, and I was a little bit angry at God. I was like, God, where are you? Why am I feeling this way? Why can't I stop my behavior? And I realized that it was because I was actually putting myself in the occasion of sin. It was my own fault. So I went home that night and I wrote down a list of what the sins were that I was struggling with the most. And mine was actually drinking. And I wrote it down. I took it to confession and I confessed my sins. And the priest gave me some great advice. He said, Brooke, you've been the driver in your life so far, and look where it's led you. You feel guilty, you feel alone, you feel depressed. Why don't you scoot over, let God take the driver's seat, and see where it leads you? Give him a chance. And I was inspired. I was like, you're right. I haven't let God take control at all. I've been thinking I can do everything on my own. And I think that happens with a lot of us. So I took his advice, and I decided to make a change in my life. The first thing that I did is I found myself a mentor. It was a girl that I really respected and looked up to and wanted to be like. And we all have someone in that in our life, whether it's a core member, a priest, a parent, a sibling. But find someone like that in your life that can help you. And what I would do is in situations where my girlfriends would call on a Saturday night and say, okay, we're going to this party. Let's come with us. And I'd really want to go. I would call her and say, okay, what's the deal? I want to go to this party. What am I going to do? And she would do something really cool. She would walk me through each step of the night from beginning to end, meaning we would start with getting ready, and then I'd arrive to the party. All my friends would be there. There'd be kegs and drinking games going on, and I'd think, okay, I'll have one drink, which would turn into a couple more, and then I would say something stupid or act in a stupid way, and the next day I would wake up feeling guilty and regretful, and I would be back to square one. So that really helped hold me accountable and say, okay, I don't want to deal with that. And the second thing that I did, which I think is even more important, is I dove into the sacraments. I went to confession, daily Mass, just receiving the Eucharist and the help, because I realized at that point that I could not do this alone, because if it was up to me, I would still be sinning. I would still be going to those parties and drinking. But when I gave it to Jesus and I allowed him to work in me, I was able to be strong and to have the courage. It's when we get prideful, and it's when we believe that there's not really an issue that we're struggling with, that's when we fall. That's when we put ourselves in the occasion of sin. So my suggestion to you would be to find a mentor, find someone that you can trust and look up to, and just dive into the sacraments, pray more, go visit the Eucharist, go to adoration, because Jesus is there waiting for you to ask him for help, and all he wants to do is give you his love and his help. Two scriptures that I think are really great and will really help you are 1 Corinthians 15, verse 33, which is, do not be deceived. Bad company corrupts good morals. And the second one is Psalm 1, which is, happy are those who do not walk in the way of the wicked. Rather, their joy is in the law of the Lord. So God bless you. Thank you.